In 2019, Palermo Football Club hit rock bottom. The club went bankrupt, dropped out of professional football, and had to rebuild from Serie D with nothing left but its name. Today, that same club stands behind a €300 million stadium project designed by one of the world's leading sports architecture firms, chasing something Sicily hasn't had in decades: a genuine shot at hosting UEFA Euro 2032. A ground that once leaked through its roof and relied on outdated wiring is being completely reborn into a fully covered, solar-powered arena built to meet the toughest standards in world football. But here's what makes this story stranger than most. Palermo doesn't even own the stadium it's about to pour a fortune into rebuilding. So how did a club with no land, no ownership, and a bankruptcy in its recent past end up this close to Sicily's biggest football moment in decades? Palermo Football Club was founded in 1900, yet for more than 30 years the team had no permanent home, moving from one ground to another as the club slowly established its identity. That finally changed on January 24, 1932, when Palermo opened the stadium that would become the heart of Sicilian football for the next 90 years. In its inaugural Serie B match, Palermo celebrated the occasion with a 5-1 victory over Atalanta. The stadium was a far cry from the venue fans know today. It consisted of little more than a pitch, an athletics track, and 2 simple side stands, with nothing built behind either goal. Originally christened Stadio Littorio during Italy's fascist era, the ground was renamed La Favorita after the Second World War. A change that mirrored the political upheaval reshaping the country, while also nodding to the ancient royal hunting park that still borders the stadium today. As Palermo's support continued to grow, an upper tier was added in the 1950s, increasing capacity by almost 80% and transforming the ground into one of southern Italy's most significant football venues. Its defining moment arrived when Italy won the right to host the 1990 FIFA World Cup. Palermo became Sicily's only host city, and La Favorita underwent the most extensive redevelopment in its history. Entire sections were demolished and rebuilt to meet FIFA standards, forcing Palermo to play its home matches in Trapani for 2 seasons between 1988 and 1990. When the stadium reopened, its capacity had risen beyond 35,000, and it welcomed World Cup matches featuring the Netherlands, Egypt, the Republic of Ireland, and England. In 2002, the ground was renamed Stadio Renzo Barbera, honouring the club's legendary former president, whose leadership had helped establish Palermo as a respected force in Italian football. But while its legend kept growing, the stadium itself kept aging. More than 30 years after the World Cup renovation, Renzo Barbera was showing its age almost everywhere. Parts of the roof leaked during heavy rain, floodlighting and electrical systems required major upgrades, and many facilities no longer met the expectations of a modern football stadium. Engineers estimated that urgent repairs alone would cost around €1.5 million, while a comprehensive modernization could exceed €30 million. Yet Palermo faced another obstacle that many clubs never have to deal with. The stadium wasn't theirs. Renzo Barbera is owned by the municipality of Palermo, leaving every major investment dependent on political decisions rather than the club itself. The situation became even more complicated in 2019, when Palermo collapsed into bankruptcy and was forced to restart in Serie D. A stadium that had once welcomed World Cup football suddenly found itself hosting 4th-tier matches. The club's remarkable recovery began 3 years later when City Football Group acquired a majority stake in 2022. They inherited one of Italy's most passionate fan bases and a club with enormous potential, but they also inherited a 90-year-old municipal stadium that had become one of Palermo's biggest obstacles to long-term growth. Then came the opportunity that changed everything. Italy's successful bid to co-host UEFA Euro 2032 gave Palermo a realistic chance of bringing major international football back to Sicily. But there was one condition: Renzo Barbera would have to meet UEFA's modern standards. After decades of abandoned proposals, political delays, and piecemeal repairs, the city and the club finally had something previous generations never possessed at the same time: financial backing, political momentum, and a deadline that could no longer be ignored. For the first time in decades, replacing patchwork fixes with a world-class stadium no longer felt like an ambition. It had become a necessity. By the end of 2025, Palermo FC and the city had moved past debate and into detailed planning. A formal study known as the DOCFAP examined 4 separate scenarios for the Barbera's future, ranging from minimal maintenance work that would keep the stadium largely untouched to the construction of an entirely new venue elsewhere in the city. Architectural firm Populous, a leading name in sports design worldwide, led the analysis alongside Palermo FC and municipal officials. After weighing cost, disruption, and UEFA's requirements against each other, the 4th and most ambitious scenario emerged as the clear winner, rated highest for its balance of city impact and long-term value. That scenario called for a comprehensive redevelopment of Renzo Barbera on its current site, rather than abandoning the historic ground altogether. Under the plan, the stadium gains an entirely new main stand, while the remaining 3 sides undergo a full reconstruction of their lower tiers, bringing every seat noticeably closer to the pitch. Capacity rises modestly to roughly 38,200, a smaller number than many expected, but one that reflects a deliberate focus on comfort and atmosphere over sheer size. Step outside, and the new Barbera is designed to announce itself immediately. A single sweeping roof supported by steel structures rising around the bowl wraps every stand for the first time in the stadium's history, replacing decades of patchy, half-covered terraces with one continuous silhouette. That roofline is more than decoration, doubling as a platform for integrated photovoltaic panels that feed the stadium's own power supply, part of a wider push toward energy self-sufficiency that also includes rainwater recovery systems built into the structure. Despite the scale of the transformation, Populous designed the exterior to keep faith with its surroundings, preserving sightlines toward Monte Pellegrino and maintaining the stadium's long-standing bond with the greenery of Favorita Park. Inside, the difference is just as striking. Seats wrap tighter around the pitch than ever before, with improved sightlines promised from every single position in the bowl, while the dugouts themselves move closer to the stands to sharpen the intensity fans feel on match days. Hospitality and premium zones expand significantly, alongside more food and beverage areas, new retail spaces, and dedicated sections built for families and supporters with disabilities, all wrapped in barrier-free access throughout the venue. But the ambition here reaches beyond match nights entirely. Populous has conceived the venue as a true multifunctional space, engineered to host top-level UEFA competitions as well as major concerts and cultural events, keeping the Barbera alive for far more than 19 match days a season. The design folds the stadium into the city itself, adding public plazas, restaurants and recreational spaces intended for daily use by residents and tourists, with Palermo FC hoping the surrounding district becomes a genuine hub of activity rather than empty between fixtures. The numbers behind the project are just as significant as the design itself. The full redevelopment carries an estimated cost of around €300 million, with Palermo FC committing to cover 51% of that figure directly. The remaining funding is expected to come through a combination of the Palermo municipality, the Sicilian regional government, and Italy's central government. With Populous's designs finalized, Palermo's stadium ambitions moved from paper into the machinery of government. In March 2026, the City Council voted unanimously to approve the redevelopment project, a rare moment of political unity for a plan that had eluded the club for more than 2 decades. That decision cleared the way for Palermo FC to submit formal documentation to the Sicilian regional authorities, officially launching the administrative process required before construction can begin. Behind that paperwork sits an agreement that could reshape Palermo's future for generations. A new framework allows the club to remain at the Barbera under a concession that could extend to 99 years, subject to a detailed technical and financial feasibility study. For the first time, Palermo has the long-term security needed to justify investing hundreds of millions of euros into a stadium it does not own outright. Beyond football, Palermo FC believes the redevelopment can become a catalyst for the wider city. Club officials say the project could create new jobs, attract private investment, boost tourism, and strengthen Palermo's position as a destination capable of hosting major international events, extending its impact far beyond the stadium itself. That ambition connects directly to UEFA Euro 2032, which Italy will co-host alongside Turkey. Palermo is aiming to become one of Italy's selected host cities, bringing major international football back to Sicily for the first time in decades. To strengthen that bid, representatives from Palermo FC, the municipality, and Populous travelled to UEFA headquarters in Nyon, presenting the project's progress and demonstrating how the redevelopment is intended to satisfy more than 200 tournament requirements. Time, however, is now the project's greatest opponent. Palermo's host city proposal was targeted for submission in July 2026, while the Italian Football Federation is expected to confirm its final candidate stadiums later that year. Every approval, funding agreement, and construction milestone must now stay on schedule if Palermo is to secure its place on Europe's biggest football stage. For a club that spent years searching for stability, the pieces have never looked more promising. Unanimous political backing, a long-term concession, and a clear redevelopment plan have transformed decades of discussion into genuine momentum. If everything proceeds as planned, the Barbera could emerge by 2031 as a stadium almost unrecognizable from the one that opened in 1932, giving Palermo a home built not only for the next generation of supporters, but also for the ambitions of an entire city. From a crumbling municipal stadium to a €300 million vision for the future, Palermo's comeback is entering its most important chapter. The only question now is whether the club can turn that vision into reality. Do you think Palermo deserves to host UEFA Euro 2032 matches? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stadium stories.